Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. These are our favorite international whiskeys of 2023.
Well, ever-changing palates, a whole wide world of exciting whiskeys to try, and we thought it would be fun this year rather than mashing all of the whiskeys we tried into a top 20 or 30 or 40 bottle list. We thought it would be fun to break these lists up a little bit. So we're starting with our favorite international whiskeys of 2023. These are not necessarily bottles that came out in 2023. These are bottles that we were actually able to get our grubby little hands on. We were able to acquire them, and we're going to share our top 5 with you right now.
And number 5 comes to us from Wales.
Penderyn, that Welsh gold. I actually did a full review of this one in the van earlier this year, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it here. Penderyn Rich Oak. It's such a solid, delicious, easy sipping whiskey. If you have never tried Scotch before, you're nervous about peat, nervous about smoke, not exactly interested in that type of flavor profile, Penderyn Rich Oak, I think, is a great entry point, even though it's a little bit pricey, a great entry point for American whiskey drinkers. Go check out that video for the full rundown on this one. But our top 5 list of international whiskeys kicks off with a whiskey from Wales.
Next in at number 4, it's a screw top from Japan. It's Nikka Coffee Malt Whiskey.
We were out one night and at a bar, got to try a sip of this, and we loved it so much, and we said, next time we get a chance, we're going to buy this bottle. Sure enough, found it on the shelf, scooped it up, and have really enjoyed it ever since. It is an interesting whiskey, lots of complexity, but it drinks really easy. It's 90 proof, great flavors in here, and this is going to sound insane, but bear with me. I think that this whiskey is a nice foil for blends. Whenever somebody says, what are you going to get instead of blends? What's the best whiskey to get instead of blends? I actually happen to think that this is a pretty good option. Yes, it has a totally different flavor profile. However, what do we like about blends? Somewhat complex, easy to sip, anybody can enjoy it, you don't have to be an expert, and it comes in a kind of a cool bottle. I think that this is a very nice whiskey, very tasty, and I do think it's super approachable. Anybody can enjoy this, and as much as we love Nikka from the barrel, that's our favorite of that bunch, this is the one that we just acquired this year, so it's on the list, and if you have not tried any whiskey from Japan just yet, that's a great place to start.
It's what I'm drinking right now. It's so delicious. There's an apricot note here that is just so flavorful. You could be onto something with that Blanton's matchup. I like it.
Dark char, that little bit of a grilled apricot in there, absolutely. There's a ton to like in this whiskey. Definitely give this one a shot.
Oh, bananas, man. It's a drink that keeps on giving. Coming in at number 3, it has the coordinates right in the cap here. It's Arran Single Malt Scotch Whiskey.
Right, yeah, it should be easy to find. You've got the GPS coordinates right there. So, Arran, this is the quarter cask. They call it the Boaty quarter cask. So it's aged in ex-bourbon barrels, and then it's finished in quarter casks to give it a really nice oaky presence. I think you might be picking up that a lot of these whiskeys are good for American bourbon drinkers, because that's exactly what this one is. There's brown sugar all over this sip. Very gentle peat presence, very gentle, if any, smoke presence. So much fruit, super well balanced, and this whiskey is one that was originally recommended to us when we were in Scotland. We got to try it back in 2022, but we found this on the shelf here in 2023. Cask strength, so 112 proof. You don't always find that on Scotch whiskey. Aged originally for 7 years in those ex-bourbon casks, and then 2 years in the quarter casks. So you're getting a ton of flavor, lots of complexity, and this one, as much as I think it is a nice jump into the Scotch world, I think that you could really adjust to this quickly with a bourbon palate. I also think that for an experienced sipper, you're going to find lots of complexity, lots of layers. There's a ton to like here. So if you have an adventurous palate and you're growing a little bit bored with what you've been sipping on lately, check out this whiskey. Go have a look for it. I have no idea if I've been saying it correctly. Arran, no idea. I've never looked up any information on this bottle. All I know is that I really, really like it, and I was thrilled that we were able to add it to the shelf this year.
And if you can't find it, you can always go to Scotland.
Yeah, just do that.
For number 2, we're going north of the border. It's Lot 40 Dark Oak.
What a treat this bottle is. And we were gifted this by our friend Canadian Chris. And I know it's not super available in America yet. It's only available in several states. At least it was a couple of months ago. But Lot 40 Dark Oak, 100% rye recipe, and the flavors on there are a little bit Christmassy. They're a little bit harvest time. There's some apple, there's some vanilla, there's some caramel, and there's a rich, dark oak presence, which adds so much complexity to this bottle. When we first opened it, we weren't totally sure about it, but then as we've been drinking it down, and we have been drinking it down, we're finding new things in it all the time. It's accessible, it's easy sipping, it's beautiful in so many ways, absolutely worth a purchase if you find it. And again, if you have an American bourbon drinker's palate, I think this is a whiskey you're really gonna like.
Yeah, we've had a couple Lot 40s and we've liked them all.
Yeah, this one's my favorite.
And we can't talk international whiskeys without going to Ireland. Coming in at number 1, your favorite and ours, Redbreast Cask Strength.
12 years aged, and you don't always find something like that. You don't always find 116 proof, 12-year aged Irish whiskey. It is honestly so unusual, and it's so delicious. It's decadent, but it's elegant, and it's rich, and it's complex. All that aging gives it so much flavor, and that high proof point means you're going to enjoy every single drop of it. This is honestly one of the finest whiskeys I've ever tasted in my entire life. Again, we tasted this in Ireland, but this one we got our chance to purchase. B1/22 is the batch number if you're wondering, and it's just blown us away. We actually landed this bottle for $100 on the dot, and we don't honestly endorse a lot of high-cost whiskey around here. We like to do our shopping in that $20 to $50 range when we can, but this is a special occasion whiskey, and thankfully, we've had a lot of special occasions this year because we've been drinking that down. Redbreast Cask Strength 12-year whiskey tops our international whiskey list, and it is absolutely beautiful. If you ever get the chance to try or buy this whiskey, it is a 100% buy in our opinion. We love this one.
Yeah, and it makes me excited for March. I can't wait to drink some Irish whiskey.
We have to wait until March because otherwise it just gets out of hand, and that's probably all we'd be the Irish whiskey fan. Well, we've never been to Wales, but we've been to the rest of these countries, and we've found delicious whiskey in every single one of them. We shouldn't be super surprised. If you have an adventurous palate, check all these whiskeys out, and from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. Can't wait to see where 2024 goes.
Maybe Wales.
Ooh, that would be fun. And join us for our next video. We'll be counting down our top 5 American single malt whiskeys.
That was a tough list to make.
Are you ready for even more Bourbon Van? Join us on Patreon for as little as $3 a month and come travel the world and drink whiskey with us.